Welcome back to regular programming. Now it's time for the super fun happy horror hour with your hosts, Adam and Mike.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to witness the union of Dawn and Shaun. Last show, it was vampires. This time we're talking about zombies. Mike,
Yeah.
Shaun of the Dead versus Dawn of the Dead. A marriage made in hell, maybe?
Or the Winchester.
Or the movie made in the Winchester, that's right. Yeah, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. It's hard not to be good after watching two phenomenal movies. I love them for different reasons. They're both, I think, standout movies. And on this podcast, there's going to be times where we watch movies and go, what was that? Or
Yeah.
that we're
not
not
gonna love everything. No.
Whereas with this one, it was really nice. I kind of wish that I did back-to-back double feature of it. That would have been pretty cool. But I came out of that feeling good, and I'm pumped for this episode just because of how much I enjoy both those movies. How about you?
Yeah, absolutely. We should probably clarify the Dawn of the Dead we're talking about is 2004, the Zack Snyder remake, which proves that Zack Snyder can make a movie. He has proven it more than once, obviously, but Dawn of the Dead is probably his best, but we'll probably cover that off a bit later. We've got stopwatches are going to be at the ready, and we probably should get stuck into it. We'll talk about Dawn of the Dead first. Yeah, are you happy with that? So Dawn of the Dead, where are we starting?
The first thing that I really want to touch on is that there's actually a lot of surprise elements to this movie, and tributes littered throughout the whole.
Yeah, as you being the horror whore, you're going to pick up on that stuff a bit more than me.
Well, and not only that, but obviously I like to go down rabbit holes and find out more. I got the sense that both Zack Snyder and James Gunn love this movie. This was a passion project for both of them because James Gunn wrote it.
Yes, yeah.
And we had Zack Snyder. So there's some really crazy things there, and that's what's interesting to see as well, because Zack Snyder's trajectory has changed. But if you look at James Gunn's filmography, there was so much like trauma stuff in there. It's funny how they both came from very different backgrounds of what their movies began as, to team up on this movie. And then to, let's say, 20 years down the track, both be doing DC movies. When it was likely that James Gunn wouldn't have, because he was quite a staple over at Marvel with the Guardians of the Galaxy movie. They were a hit. So I never thought that there was going to be any defecting to the enemy.
Okay, so what's your history you want to talk about?
There's a lot in here. So, like, firstly, to find out that, like, when Ving Rhames found out that they're doing the remake, he literally seeked out the producers.
Yes.
And begged to be in the movie. That was something that I really enjoyed finding out as well, like other bits and pieces. Like, for instance, like when Rhames is getting his arm stitched up, the person stitching him up was meant to go through a prosthesis, sort of like fake skin, and actually went through that and stitched it to his arm. And then they also did things like a throwback to the original. There were two zombies in the movie where there was a jogger that was missing an arm, and there was a legless zombie in the garage, and they were actually played by actual amputees. But the same thing was done with one of the first zombies seen in the original Dawn of the Dead. It was like missing a limb, but it was an actual amputee. So just like that, they can do this little throwback of going, hey, the original cast an amputee as a zombie missing a limb. Let's go and do that. Did find out that Romero signed off on this movie. He liked it. He was initially hesitant, but he enjoyed it and was impressed by the movie. There's a part during the opening credits montage where it's showing all the movie clips and all the news and everything. There is like army soldiers and stuff in there. Zack Snyder's actually one of those soldiers. So technically, Zack Snyder starts in the movie.
On Hitchcock.
And probably the one that I like the best, because I really like the actor. So the actor that plays CJ. So I like him. I think he's a good actor.
He is a good dick, though, as in he
Yeah.
plays a good
Wow.
dick.
Okay. Cool. I mean, you
Very
obviously know him better than I do. Like much
Yeah.
better.
We go way back, yeah.
Yeah, way back. That's for another podcast. But
Yeah, I don't advertise that one.
yeah, that's another writer in the
Shit.
scene that they're in the elevator. He goes
Yeah.
like, "I like this song," and it's like the first time that he really smiles in the movie. What was interesting about that scene is that that line was completely improvised. There was no song playing.
Oh,
It was like just pitch
dead
silence,
silence.
and he's just going like, "I like this song."
That's funny.
Because I thought that part was hilarious in the movie because it was in a really serious time and moment in the movie. They're using the elevator. Everyone's standing like quiet with this music that's playing, and then he just says that out of nowhere. But to find out that that line was improvised and that there wasn't even anything playing, if I was one of the cast members in the elevator at that point, I would have wet myself. Like,
Yeah, the way they keep it straight, that's good.
Oh, there is one more. So, three originals from the original movie came back.
Yes. Yep.
So, we got to see Ken Foree as the evangelist on the TV. Savini, I can't
Yes,
remember exactly.
Savini,
He was like on
he's
a
on the
TV
he's on a
interview,
TV
wasn't
thing
he?
too. Yeah, he's on an interview.
And then there was Scott Reniger. I don't remember his part in it. But before the proper credits come in, at the end of the movie, they get their own special appearance of the Dawn of the Dead. Like it literally says like special appearance from the original Dawn of the Dead. And then it's just got those three names there. And then after that it goes to the proper credits. And I just thought that was really cool. You've brought back some cast members from the original and then they get their own special like tribute in it, which is really cool.
Yeah, they've done it a service, which is it's nice when they do things like that in film, and it's purely for them because a casual watcher like me of this type of film or it doesn't ring to me, but yeah, for lots within the industry or people who have connections to the original, obviously it does. Yeah, it's cool little touches.
Yeah, I think that that's important. I think that you don't have to copy a movie when you remake it. And you don't necessarily have to have your like tributes like on the nose all the time. But I definitely appreciate when movies do pay like homage to them. They do
respect where they've come from.
Yeah, exactly. And if they can do it tastefully and in a way that's not tokenism type thing, I love it.
Yeah. If it's done right, it's done right. Yeah, absolutely. There's plenty of examples of films where they do those homages. Yeah, well, I was actually gonna lead into what my highlights were of this film. So this was my maybe third time seeing this, and I remember the first time I watched it, what stood out to me the most was the rooftop scenes when they're calling out the celebrity lookalike zombies and the guy on the opposite side is just pinging them. And that was a funny game to witness. But yeah, the highlights of this, I think Ty Burrell is so great seeing him play a villain when I kind of knew him from Modern Family before I ever seen this for the first time. He's a goofy, funny, sweet kind of family man, and then you see him as a complete opposite, playing totally against that type.
Yeah, he's a dick.
Yeah, it's fun to watch. Yeah, it's really fun to watch. Yeah, he's a good dick, as we say in the show. There was other highlights I have. I think the end scene, that battle truck they built, that was a really great final act. There's a lot to love with this. It's really enjoyable, and it has got a bit of tonally from a cinematography point of view. It does have this. Speaking of homage, I think it's quite grainy and the tone is very much into that older style of 50s, 60s creature feature type of film. I think, although a little bit more tarted up for modern eyes, but it still has that. It still has its roots in that style of filmmaking.
Kind of really remind me of like David Fincher's type, maybe like with like a splash of like David Ayer in there as well. I see a lot of this similar grittiness as like Seven, like just like the tones and like the color palettes and everything used in Seven.
This is a much brighter film than Seven. Like Seven
is
bleak.
brighter. Like what? This movie's not bleak. Like
no, well, no. I mean the way the atmosphere of Seven is bleak. Like it's very grey. It's very rainy. It's very colors are really dark and muted. This one's a bit more shiny. I think it's a bit brighter and a bit more yellow in the
Yeah,
way it looks. Like it has that LA tone about it.
it's definitely got that, especially like towards the start and then like in the outdoor scenes. I definitely see
Yeah,
that.
yeah, 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 yeah.
But
Yep.
I think that the
It's,
interior of the shopping center or the
mhm.
mall, as Americans would say,
And
is
me, I
very
say more.
much is like very like hospital like. It
Mm.
is. I think it's very muted colors in the mall as well, and I think a lot of the shots kind of remind me of how like Fincher has obviously he's not the one doing the camera work, but
No,
reminiscent of like a
but
lot
he's
of
instructing
his
very much the way he wants them to look. Like that's what
yeah
a director does. They have their dream and they have their plan, and they just hire the best people they can to meet that
yeah
meet
and
their
I,
vision.
and we know that like for instance like he's directed things like Fight Club, The Game, and I
Mm.
think like and Panic Room, even look Zodiac, like all
Yeah,
those movies have muted colors and fast camera work, like almost
yeah.
not haphazard because they know what they're doing, like, and it doesn't look messy at any point, but
Mm.
it's like I believe Fincher knows how to do controlled chaos,
Okay.
and I think
You mean on
Zack Snyder.
screen in an
Yeah,
image
yeah,
or
yeah.
okay?
Like, and it's showing this. Like, you look at like the story of the game. That's probably I think like more elegant as far as his work goes. But like Fight
Mm.
Club, the way that that works, the scenes in Zodiac again are a lot slower, more deliberate. But you
Suspenseful.
get but you get the grittiness. But then if you look at like Panic Room, the way that this like there's parts where they like run to the panic room after leaving it and different bits
Yeah.
and the way that like the camera angles change as quick as the person moves. Well, I think we get a lot of that controlled chaos camera work in Dawn of the Dead,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah, I
probably
think that's
where
fair.
that
I think a lot
and
of that comes from the
yeah.
editing, though, to be honest, because there's a lot of quick cuts, a lot of splash and dash, like scenes on, especially
Yeah,
through the montagey stuff. It's like a
yeah,
splash
but
of,
even outside of that though, like we get a lot of like angles that are used that are very similar, very like sharp. They don't follow certain lines. Or, like you'll see
yeah.
how it's shot.
I didn't pick that up, but I wasn't looking for it either, to be honest. So, yeah.
I don't ever know what I'm looking for in a movie. Like,
No, no,
I
no.
don't
Well,
know
me
what I
either.
pay
It just
attention to.
no. I don't think it pays to
Um,
look for stuff. You need to let it find you, and that's why when you rewatch movies, like you find new things. That's why they're rewatchable.
and I think that's what's important about like rewatching things is because then you get the ability to focus or like
Mm.
acknowledge things that you didn't before, which is fantastic. Like, I think that's really cool.
So, what are your highlights in this? I mean, what were
My
your scenes?
highlights, I think, is like more the way that they had characters work really well in this. Every character was different and easy to like distinguish between, and like it was good. They had some likable characters in there, and obviously some characters there that you're meant to not like. But probably like one of the things that I liked a lot in it is one of Ving Rhames' quotes. And I was
Okay.
like, man, like, and I just still remember it hit me hard when I first watched it, but I was a teenager. And then listening to it again, like, it was very, I think it's sort of really eye opening. But that would depend on who you are. And I don't think anyone takes offense by it, but literally is like when Mekhi Phifer's character goes into the bathroom and talks to him about his concerns of being a better person. He wants to bring up his child who his partner's pregnant with in the movie
Hmm.
and just wants to be a better person for them. Even though like it's sort of spoken about or at least like hinted at that he has like a past life of crime prior to the zombie apocalypse. And Ving Rhames is in the bathroom, like washing up and doing all this sort of stuff. And he turns around and he goes like, "Oh, I get it. Like you saw hell yesterday, and now you're scared for going to hell for all of the bad things you've done. I'll tell you what. Go in the stalls, say 5 Hail Marys, wipe your ass, and you and God can call it even." My takeaway from that was two things. One, Ving Rhames has obviously just heard plenty of people, like, because he's a cop in the movie, he's heard a lot of people try and, like, seek redemption or show remorse, like, for their actions, that he's almost become jaded, going, oh, yep, cool, like, that's just typical criminal speak, wanting to do good now that they're in trouble.
Yeah.
But then also, he basically almost gatekeeps his religion because he says he's religious by just saying what, like, in this day and age with whatever's going on, use that stool as a confessional, basically. Do your Hail Marys and you guys
Make
can
yourself with
like
God, as Stephen King
and
would
do
say.
that, but then at the same time he's almost saying like there's no point at the same time. We're at the end of time and there's a chance that maybe his character is having doubts, which we don't know because he seems highly religious in the movie. But basically, he's like untrusting of this person, unbelieving of this person, that he's not really wanting to waste his time and his beliefs on him as well. So that hit me hard. But what do you think they did to get it right?
What did they do to get it right? Yeah, I'm thinking, and the more I'm thinking maybe they didn't, because I'm thinking characters. I mean, the characters are quite, for me, to just not to counter you, but to a little bit different to you. They're a little bit cookie cutter. They're a bit archetypal. They're kind of standard characters. There's some good writing in here because James Gunn does James Gunn things, but the characters, the world isn't built well enough. Like I'm big on world building and characters, and for me, as much as I enjoy this film and I think it is really good, it doesn't quite hit it out of the park. What did they do to get it right? I think there's definitely some good humor in here, and it cuts through at the right time. I think there is definitely good storytelling in here because I did see this one before I saw the original, and to be honest, I can't really remember the original because it was probably a couple of years ago I watched that. I think obviously the production design is quite good. I don't know the story and how they got this mall, but it was obviously a mall that was closed anyway, I believe, for them to get that. The zombie makeup, all that is pinpoint. Like, it's really great. Like you said, there are some good villains. I mean, it's like I said, as cookie cutter as the characters are, they are still really well, I guess, fleshed out, really well put on screen. And Zack Snyder is just telling a story really well, and they lean into what this is, and they do pay as much as admitting that I hadn't seen the original first. You can tell there's love in for this franchise or for this genre in this film, that you can see the filmmakers are having a good time, and they are committed to what they're trying to do with the remake and do the right thing, being that it is a remake. Other than that, I'm not sure how much more I could add off the top of my head.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Dawn of the Dead. I always enjoy watching it. It's definitely I don't always watch it. It had been quite some years since I'd watched it,
Mhm.
but as soon as I put it on, I remembered how much I enjoyed it, and then I was thinking, why have I waited so long to watch it again? And that's the same with our next movie too. Was I got the exact same vibe from it. And so I think both are going to become like regular staples in my viewing. Like, I think I'm going to try
Yeah.
and like smash out both like at least once a year.
Shaun of the Dead's
But yeah,
definitely a
yeah,
once
that
a year
definitely
watch for
is.
me. This one, yeah, every couple of years is fine, I think.
Maybe.
On
Yeah.
that note, let's talk about Shaun of the Dead. Well, actually,
Um
before you get into that, is that we probably should read. These are both from 2004, which I think is fantastic. But maybe we should read the IMDb synopsis a little bit anyway. I mean, if you haven't
yeah.
seen Shaun of the Dead and you're listening to this show, then why are you here? But
Then you
thank you for
fucked up.
being here. But
No,
why are
yeah.
you here? Maybe
Yeah.
pause, go and watch it, and come back and listen to the last half. But Shaun
Yeah,
of the Dead.
spoiler alert.
Yeah, there'll be spoilers. The uneventful, aimless lives of a London electronics salesman and his layabout roommate are disrupted by the zombie apocalypse. And what's your history with it, buddy?
You've got some red on you.
Yeah, I've got that
My
written down. You've got red
history
on
of
you.
this, look, I hope that there's no police officers listening to this episode. If you are, just stop listening. But my
I'm sure they'll do that now. Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. All of a sudden, I just like get swatted.
Yeah.
No, so my history with this was I had friends in high school because I went to high school in the period where everyone was like downloading movie or like getting burnt movies from markets
Oh,
and the
yeah, yeah,
trading posts.
bootlegs.
You know, yeah,
Yeah.
like all the bootlegs. And when DVD players would become popular, and you would end up getting these really dodgy movies that were filmed in cinemas on terrible
Oh, mate.
cameras. So you're
Yeah.
watching all these movies, but you're technically watching these like probably like
What a way to
like
ruin a movie, though. I've seen
yeah.
movies like
Oh, it
that and
is.
hated them and then rewatched them in an actual format and like, oh,
Yeah,
this
and
movie's
that's
actually really great.
it's a gift and a curse, right? It
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
because back then as well, it was different with movies. Like it used to be that a movie would be in the cinema, and then it would take months before it would get a physical media release. like months and months. Like,
Oh, yeah, because that was law.
yeah, so
That's half the problem with cinemas now is that
yeah,
unless
hate
they
it. I
release them
love it,
too
but I
early,
hate it.
you get them on VOD in like 17 days, like 20 days. And then you get the physical 3 months later. It's like, oh, why aren't people going to the cinema? Because everything's on streaming or you can buy it within three
Yeah.
months. It used to be a 3 month window. It's
Yeah,
mental.
so that was my experience, was that Shaun of the Dead, the very first time I watched it, was on a burnt DVD. Filmed in a cinema on
Yeah.
a shitty camera
And what
with
did you think of
heads
it
in. Look,
when you first watched it?
I didn't like that first time.
No.
But that's because like the whole thing was
That
like blown
sounded,
out,
that sounded,
overexposed. And like I remember just going like, I don't get the love, because it got hype.
yeah.
Like there was a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah,
hype on
yeah.
that movie.
Yeah.
And at the time that that movie came out, depending on the month, I was over 13 or 14 when that movie came out.
Yeah, okay.
And I don't reckon at that point I had seen Dawn of the Dead, like the Romero one.
Yep.
And then I didn't see Dawn of the Dead, like the Zack Snyder one. I don't think I saw it that year. It might have been like a year or two later. So I technically think that my first introduction to the Of the Dead legacy might have
Yeah.
been Shaun.
I think the same for me, but I definitely I know I didn't watch this until at least like probably 2008, 9 before I ever saw Shaun of the Dead. I mean, I knew its reputation,
Yeah.
but again, I'm not a horror fan. I didn't know Edgar Wright. That none of that
Yeah, I didn't
resonated
know
with me.
any of, like, as far as I was concerned, when I watched Shaun of the Dead, I don't believe I had seen Simon Pegg or Nick Frost in
No,
anything
no, I had
before.
neither. No.
At least nothing that I could remember.
And now you
Um,
watch it, there's so many familiar faces.
yeah, I know. Like, I know,
Yeah,
like, so many people in the movie. Like,
yeah.
even, like, one of the characters I noticed, like, the character of Noel, who is one of the people that works with Simon
With
Pegg.
Simon, yeah,
And the guy that's like, "Oh, it's your girlfriend," and hands him the phone.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that's Rafe Spall. He was in like The
Ah,
Ritual. He's been in a
yeah,
bunch of other stuff.
yeah.
That's him, but like
But you,
much younger. Like,
he's also the guy who plays what's his name? But he's in Black Books. He's the main guy in Black Books.
oh,
Dylan
Dylan.
Moran.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Reece Shearsmith is in this as well.
Oh, who else? There was a couple of others in there as well that were where I was like, oh, okay.
I think
Lucy
Kate
Davis has
Ashfield's.
been in stuff as well.
Yeah, well, she's from The Office. She plays
Yeah.
well the UK Pam.
Bill Nye's in it.
Bill Nye.
Martin Freeman's in it.
Yes, Martin Freeman.
Matt Lucas is in it.
Yes,
Uh,
they play the duplicate what is it? Septet, whatever they are. Five
yeah,
of them.
yeah.
I don't know.
So there's a bunch of people in there
Greg. Yeah. Sorry.
was that I saw it. I was like, oh, okay, like wow.
Oh, did Chris Martin's in this?
What, Coldplay singer?
He's a zombie outside the Winchester. Yeah, he's in the credits.
I just saw that. Wow.
Yeah.
And is that, I might say the name wrong, but Krishnan Guru Murthy, he was the guy on the TV doing interviews. Is he the one that was told by Tom Cruise in real life that he was being rude?
No, well, Tom Cruise has said that to a few people, but wasn't that he did that to Peter Overton too, Australian guy. I don't. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So this Christian guy, yeah, he's the dickhead that interviewed Michael Jackson and that too. He's like a bit of a Piers Morgan type, I think.
Oh,
But
is he?
yeah,
Okay, yeah.
yeah, that
I
is
saw
that
him, I
guy.
was like, I'm pretty sure I've been,
He's
he
just
was told to like,
he's a pushy prick,
told
is
off.
what he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like my first experience with this movie, getting back on track, wasn't a good one. It was overexposed and blown out,
Yeah.
and I didn't enjoy it. And I remember just going like, nah. And then I ended up hiring it. Remember when there was video stores?
Oh,
I
do
remember
I ever?
hiring it on DVD because we had DVD by then, being in
Yeah.
2004, and it still felt new. DVD still felt relatively new, at least in Australia, because they were expensive. Like DVDs were quite expensive, so it was
Yeah,
better to
$30, I
just,
think. Yeah.
yeah. But $30 back then.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
aware. Yeah.
Is like buying like a special edition 4K now.
That's
Like-
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a $65 steelbook now. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, basically. So you look at it and you go, oh no, let's hire this movie. And I remember giving it another go. not even realizing necessarily that it was the same movie, but remembering I saw the red cover that it
Yeah,
had on there. I was like, all
yeah,
right, I'm gonna give it a go now, properly
yeah,
on DVD, and I enjoyed it so much more. I
yeah.
loved it, and I was like, yep, cool.
So how many?
Funnily enough, I never owned it until I
Ah,
bought the 4K.
this weekend, right? Last weekend.
Yeah, like
Oh,
so.
because actually, sorry, no, you finish that thought because
I was
I
just
do
gonna
want to.
say, like, it's gonna be like by the time this episode goes live, I literally, if you're listening to this, I bought the Shaun of the Dead 4K like 3 weeks ago. Yeah, that's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
basically what it will work out to be when the
Well,
episode comes out.
well, the thing is, I want to talk about the reason why you brought it because we were supposed to record this episode last week, but someone, not
Didn't
not
own
looking
it.
at anyone, but he's a name rhymes with Spike. Forgot to watch the movies, and so now I did watch them. I did my homework like a good boy, which is unusual, and because I've got a shit memory, I can't remember all the stuff I wanted to say, to be honest. But I took some notes. But anyway, so you were talking about. You said, "Oh, I haven't watched them," and I was like, "Well, you can get the 4K at JB," and you were like,
Mm.
"Oh, okay. Well, I'll watch it. I'll buy it, and then I'll watch it on the weekend." And I
Yeah.
was like, "Yeah, cool," because you need to own it on 4K. It's
Well, you got to just own it in general, and realizing that
well,
I didn't even have it is probably
yeah,
like the bigger issue.
yeah. But it's such. We need to talk about the film more because it's. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think I've seen this maybe 5 or 6 times now, and it's such a perfect film. I actually double featured this with Hot Fuzz on the same day when I watched this because Hot
Oh
Fuzz
yeah,
is
that'd be good. You
oh
didn't do End of the World or whatever it was called?
the world's end. No, look,
No, I've still not even seen it.
oh, see, I look. A lot of people. My mate Shane, Wasteland reviewer, it's his favorite of the trilogy.
Yeah,
I've
okay.
actually done
Wow.
some. Yeah, I've actually done some videos with him on this, and we actually did an episode about the World's End. I think we did Shaun of the Dead and the World's End. I don't know. Either way, but yeah, I mean, for me, Hot Fuzz is probably the greatest comedy ever made. I think Hot Fuzz is a
Whoa.
yeah, yeah.
Gee,
I
a
don't
lot
think
of
it
like
gets.
truth bombs getting hit here.
It doesn't get much better than yeah, a lot of hyperbole floating about. But Shaun of the Dead though, this is a 5-star movie for me.
Mm.
It kind of says how much I rate Hot Fuzz because but the genius behind Shaun of the Dead is something that when I first watched it just blew me away. It was unparalleled. I had not seen this type of filmmaking before when I watched it. Maybe a little bit of Guy Ritchie editing style, like the quick
Mm.
cuts and the type of stuff. But I want to explain that from the opening montage where he's woken up and he's hungover and he walks through. He's like a zombie, and it's like it's a zombie movie. So that's a nice little touch. But then he walks to his little milk bar or bodega, or whatever,
Yeah.
those little corner store, buys his can of Coke or whatnot. Strolls past the kid playing soccer and all these same people, and then the next day when everyone's a zombie, goes to the store because he's hungover again, not looking at anything, not paying attention. It's the same people, but they're all
Yeah.
zombies doing the same shit, and I'm just looking at it going, this is fucking great. This is great. Those little touches, so great. And then Nick Frost being this great comedic relief is like, sorry, Shaun. He's like, what for? And he's like, no, sorry, Shaun. And like, because he's farted. Just
Yeah.
that type of stuff. Like he's the bum on the couch, and then the whole relationship between the other roommate, which is Peter Serafinovich, who plays Darth Maul, for fuck's sake. He's fantastic because he's a really funny guy in real life as well. And that relationship between him and Nick Frost, who I can't remember his character right now, is just
Ed.
Ed. Sorry, yeah. It's just magical because they hate each other for no reason. Well, actually, for probably valid reasons, but there's a lot of callbacks with you left the front door open. You've got red on you is all through this because it's the red movie in the Cornetto trilogy. I'm ranting here, but there's so much I want to talk about this film. So you can cut me off at any time because after I talk about the Bloody Mary connection and they wake up and there's Mary in the backyard who's bloody. And I think she's hungover and they throw records at them and he's going through his record collection and he's going through all the Prince stuff.
I never noticed that.
Oh, the Bloody Mary
Bloody
stuff.
Mary connection?
Oh,
Never. I
so
know
many
that they said
connections.
it. They're like, oh, you'll just have a Bloody Mary in the morning.
In the morning, yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I didn't even notice the Bloody
Oh,
Mary. Like,
there's so many connections like that in this movie. That's what you need to go back and
what I
So
love
great.
most about this movie was one, how ahead of its time with what, and I don't know if this was deliberate or not, but in how humanity turned out. Like, in all honesty, like humanities are all zombies, right?
Yeah, yeah.
They're like
Looking at our phone, or yeah,
looking at the phones, doing other things, but also at the same time, I think that we would be as a species very similar to these zombies.
yeah.
They're like doing this thing where it'd be like, oh nah. And I could see how many people would get eaten because they're too busy making a TikTok
Oh,
video to then get
absolutely.
into safety.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Be like,
then-
look at this dude behind me. He's off his tits, and
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
you just see all this, like, and people would do this going like, oh, like and subscribe while they're getting eaten.
Yeah.
And so that was something that I thought, like, I was like, what? Like, that seems more relevant now than ever before.
Yeah,
I thought that was genius because I don't know if that was necessarily the intention. And
well, iPhones
back
were still 3 years away at least, right?
yeah,
So,
exactly, right. And then to just see that that's how it goes, but that's how our mindset has gone. That I believe that they could pretty much put him in that same situation today,
yeah, yeah.
and it would play out the exact same.
If they change the hangover from him just walking down the street looking at his phone, it's the same thing.
Yeah, so I liked that. I thought that was really clever. What I liked the most about this whole thing was just the pacing and the line delivery in this movie. That alone, it didn't even matter what these people were saying. They did certain things, and like I was cracking up. Like in the record scene where they're like going through what records to throw.
Purple Rain, no.
When he goes like, Sade, and he goes to throw Liz's, right? Like I cracked up laughing.
Yeah.
I was laughing so hard when he's like getting ready to launch it.
Yeah.
He goes, no, that's Liz. Like
I laugh when he's like, Batman soundtrack, yeah, throw it.
yeah, like, but when he goes like, Sade, and he's like, no. Like I was in hysterics.
Yeah.
But then just even like just the delivery and the timing of it. So like when you get in, I'm pretty sure it's the first time Liz meets up with Shaun in the bar to talk about like the issues, right?
Dogs can't
and
look
then
up.
they go like, and they go like, sometimes you just want it to be between you and I so that we can. And then Ed's playing pinball. He goes, fuck, right at that moment.
Exactly.
And then like other things, I was like, that was so good.
Yeah.
And then just the different things that he says like at different points just made it so much more funny. Like they'll talk like, for instance, like the dogs can't look up comes up like again, and like they're talking about like how problematic Ed is. And literally like, and I apologize to our viewers if you've got sensitive like morals here, like stop listening for like the next 30 seconds.
You've come to the wrong place, yeah.
Yeah, you've come to the wrong place. But they're having this really like serious conversation where you can tell Shaun is invested and listening, and he comes up and he goes, "Can I get any of you cunts a drink?" Like, and just like you can almost hear like the pin drop on the fucking record, like. And I was just like, you could not have planned that any better. And that was perfect in that moment, just like to show like how often Ed in this movie destroys the situation. Yeah. Like even the moment, like
even when he crashes the red car deliberately so he can drive the Jag, right?
Yeah.
Such a prick.
Like even down to like when fucking what's his name? The fucking is it Philip is the stepdad?
Philip is he's not my father. He's my stepfather.
But like Philip. He's gone like, he's not with us anymore or something like, and he's having this heartfelt moment as he's dying, and Ed's like, he's like, slow the car, pull over, and he's like, yeah, in a minute, and he still takes the time to knock over a couple more zombies. Like in this moment where, like, in all honesty, he's kind of a little bit emotional. They like got all of the timing right in that and delivered it in a way
of
going
characters
like,
enough for you to care,
yeah, and in that moment, like, it was, like, quite touching. And he's, like, even him saying, like, Ed, pull over, and, like, and then he's, like, panicked, and he says, like, I pull over now. And he goes, righto, and then, like, still takes the time to fucking swerve and hit a zombie, and then does his fucking burnout, like, where he, like, spins it. And, like, and I just thought that how, like, much of, like, a moment ruiner this guy is through the whole movie.
He's a douche to the end, but he's lovable too, right? Like,
I love him. I want a friend like that.
But we love him because Shaun loves him so much, right? Because they obviously have history, and I think that's because otherwise you'd be like, Also, I keep forgetting every time I watch this movie, every time when he's in that Jag and he pops up after they've rescued Philip and Sean's mum, who Sean's mum is brilliant.
Yeah.
I can't remember who plays her, but goddamn, her character is great. But he pops up and he goes, and he drops the N word just real casually.
Oh yeah.
It shocks
I
me every
couldn't
time because I always
Yeah.
forget it's in the movie, and I'm like, oh, God, it's and no one never hear any discourse about it online, which is great to be honest. Because some millennials are going to find this movie and go, hey, hang on, what's going on here?
Penelope Wilton plays Barbara.
Penelope Wilton, yep.
Yeah, she was great in this too, by the way.
She is.
I
She's
still love the bit
brilliant.
when they turn around like, "Oh, you've perfected this, like really good." And she goes, "Doing what?" And then when they're
Yeah.
acting, like
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
just being herself. I laugh so hard at that.
Yeah.
Like, and then yeah, but you're right about like when he drops the N bomb in it. I didn't remember.
I forget it every time.
I forget it, but then at
Yeah.
the same time, like it kind of floors you a little bit because you're
Yeah.
definitely not used to it. I was like, hold on a minute, like what?
Well, in the time in 2004 or something, it's not like it was allowed to be said still, but it was. Oh, I don't know. I think it was kind of a bit of. I don't think it's satire, but it's a bit of a. I don't know. I think it's supposed to be funny that a white guy's saying that because he is that type of character who would say that and not think anything of it.
Yeah, like and I think
it's on
maybe
brand.
I think that's what maybe they were going for because obviously he is that sort of like ignorant, obnoxious.
He thinks it's being cool.
Yeah, like even though he's ignorant and obnoxious and doesn't pay attention to a person's sensibilities and also like knowing what's right or wrong, he's like
he farts in people's faces.
Yeah, but like that's what I remember. Like when I watched it on the weekend, like when he said that, I was like, hold on, like what? I don't remember it being said, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it does though. It's a little bit of a gut punch. You know that it's not really meant to be said. Like I don't use that word. I don't hear people use that word because of that. You know.
Yeah.
And then you hear that, and it's so loud and clear because he's the only one talking. I was like, whoa, whoa. Like, and I at the time I just sort of thought, imagine if we were at a pub or a bar for any Americans listening and someone like that walked in and yelled that out. Like, what would happen, right? And I was just like, whoa, oh.
Yeah, they'd probably be pushed straight out the door. Or
yeah, that'd be like, all right, you're cut off.
At least, yeah.
Yeah, at the very least. Yeah. Like,
all right, mate.
You're gone. Like, just, and it's probably for their own safety, really, as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, like, that definitely, like, that jarred me. It was jarring.
Yeah.
It was just like a whoa. Like if you heard that in a restaurant or something, everyone would turn around, right? Like you'd be like, "What?" And you'd hear like fucking forks drop and everything, right?
Clutching at the pearls.
Yeah. You'd literally hear like,
"Oh my!"
But yeah, so I don't know necessarily what its meaning or like its value was back then. Again, like I was too young. Like I said, like I was like 13, 14. Like so, I don't know like what that sort of looked like.
I think the intent behind it is to show you that he is infantile and that he is a little bit immature and he's just trying to be cool, I suppose, because he's driving the Jag. He's kind of hyped up on this adrenaline that.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of nonchalant to the whole zombie thing, right? Like he takes phone calls when they're supposed to get quiet when they're walking because the guy's ringing them up to buy drugs. It's like, nah, mate, can't get on. Or basically, he's like, nah, can't get any. And it's like, well, no shit, because the whole world is zombies, man.
Yeah, like, funny. And the when they first start seeing the zombies, remember when they're doing the singing part? They're looking at each other and they're like singing, and then like they stop and the zombie down in the like background goes like, oh, and they get, like at first these guys are seeing the real comedic value of the zombie apocalypse before knowing.
Yeah.
And I do think, to an extent, they enjoyed the whole situation. Really, they were both like sort of in their element while not being in their element, and it was just like okay, like just the fact that they still get like during all these emergency times and pressing times, still getting like packs of like peanuts thrown at faces and stuff.
Yeah.
But and then we have to touch on probably the most iconic scene from that movie. It's not necessarily my favorite.
Okay.
But there's one scene that like is the most iconic, which is the bashing scene in the pub.
Oh yeah, with the music. What is that
Queen
song? I
comes
can't
on.
remember. Queen, yeah.
Yeah, isn't it like "Can't Stop Us Now" or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that?
Can't
And
stop
and
me
there's the
now.
three of them taking turns in
With the
time with
baseball bat. Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
beat, like
Yeah.
hitting him.
Oh,
Like it
music
was
plays such
good.
a big part in Edgar Wright films.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like Tarantino and Scorsese. Music plays such a big part in their films, and they just needle drop so well. You'll see it in Baby Driver and that as well, and yeah, it's just
Baby
But
Driver's
that,
so good.
yeah. But that is a good scene. I actually really, and I don't know why, but my favorite sequence in this entire film is from the moment he rescues Liz and the other two idiots who they're funny in themselves because she has a crush, the one who plays
Yeah, has
um
a crush on Shaun.
she has a crush on Shaun and he has a crush on Liz.
Yeah.
Diane, yeah, Diane and David. And it's so obvious because Shaun becomes this reluctant hero, right? He's the only one that can lead them through this because David, Dylan Moran, is just a jerk.
And just a whinger as well. Like
Yeah,
complains about everything while not
he,
taking any steps on of
he's a
his own.
pussy. I guess for lack of a better phrase, he's a pussy, and he's just being like, yeah, a whiny bitch.
Yeah,
Uh,
my biggest thing with him was just like that elitist attitude that you
yeah,
come to know so well in the real
yeah,
world that like without him really saying too much, I hated this guy. Like
yeah.
basically,
He's gonna be, yeah.
yeah, like he definitely wouldn't be someone that I would have in like my circle of friends. Like I would have
No.
like told this guy to fuck off a long time ago,
Yeah,
which is
and
why
Shaun
like
does.
yeah, I cheered, I clapped when I
Oh,
watched him
really?
get disemboweled. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
clapping. I actually think that I said something like to the effect of like "Take that, you can't." Like, yeah, I did because I hate him. I don't like people like that because at the end of the day, like he's basically a bully, right? You know, with all these passive aggressive
Yeah.
and he says all this stuff, and he's at the same time trying to be some self-righteous like
Yep.
person
While doing
and
nothing. Yeah,
yeah, while doing nothing. Like it's
yeah.
easy to like and that's the
He's
type of
no,
people I hate
nothing
in real
constructive
life,
about it.
right?
Yeah, he's just
Is
all
it's
complaining.
so easy to like criticize people,
Mm.
but if you're doing nothing, then that person that you're criticizing is already like steps ahead of you, right? Like at
Yeah.
least someone's trying. You cannot fault someone for trying. Even if you think that you've got a better idea, that person took that leap
Yeah.
and are actually doing something. So it's pointing the finger and all that. And I think just because I've seen that type of person in real life,
Mm.
and I've always sort of like not championed against them. Like it's not like I go like looking for these people, but I've always like made it my effort to sort of like make these people know that they're like pieces of shit. Like
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
anyone that I know like that, you call them
Yeah.
out on their shit because it's not
Yeah.
fair, regardless of if it's like aimed at me, aimed at someone else. I went to school with people that like targeted certain people
Mm.
and would always give certain people crap. And like you just call them out and go, why? Like why
Yeah.
that one person? Like what do you get from doing that? Like just let people live. Like so yeah, that
That's something to it.
character, like I just fucking hate it. I was
Yeah.
like I knew
So
people like that and I was like, nah.
yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, I just want to touch back on my well, we brought him up, but my favorite sequence from when he picked them up. But I like the entire sequences when they're running through the backyards to try and get to the
The
Winchester.
fence falls over.
And he does the same thing in Hot Fuzz in the same way, but does it professionally because he's good at it. But that whole thing where they kill their neighbor because he's a zombie, and then they do that zombie acting, then
Yeah.
they meet into their 5 doppelgangers, which is just fantastic.
Yeah.
Because even Matt Lucas and Ed are like the same, and it just goes down the line. They're the same people,
Yeah.
but just dressed differently. There's something about, I don't even know why, but I just think that scene is really pivotal in
Orientation.
orientated. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pivotal in their growth and actually builds their characters more, so you do care about them more because for what's gonna come in once they get to the Winchester and then
Yeah.
shit starts happening, and so it really connects them as a group really well, and I really like that scene. For that. It's
45
like,
seconds.
no, we've still got 8 minutes for the total episode.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
It was pivotal.
Pivotal for their character development. Look, what I was going to say, it kind of reminds me of those adventures like The Goonies, where it's just a group of people out to try and do something, or Stand By Me, or something like that.
I was going to say Stand By Me.
Yeah, it has that comfortability about it for some reason. I don't know why. There's groups of people out surviving. I don't know. It does something. It's like I have this weird cinema kink, where I love jungle adventure movies, like the Jumanji movies. I shouldn't like them as much as I do. I like them. I love like Romancing the Stone because it's like a jungle adventure. I don't know why I like those type of movies, but I do. It's definitely a tonal thing. But anyway, that kind of reminded me of that, and that's why I enjoy that sequence quite a lot.
Yeah, I think it's important that and they show it well in this, which is that although obviously it's a horror comedy, and
very funny. And there's some proper
funny
horror in this too, right?
Yeah, like if you look at those zombies, they're like horrific.
They're proper scary. Yeah. And practical effects are fantastic.
Yeah, and they don't go away from the gore, the totem tennis pole through it, like stuff like that. Like, so they don't shy away from the horror elements. But then I think that they also like sort of master the seriousness in it, like when you're seeing those emotional moments, like between Philip and Shaun in the back of the car, like when Philip's trying to explain himself to Shaun as to why he acted the way he was.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then there was some seriousness down in the cellar between Shaun and Ed, and
5 minute warning.
Excuse me, guys.
Spend 2 minutes coughing.
5-minute warning, 4 minutes and 56 seconds coughing. When Shaun, Ed, and Liz are in the cellar, there are like a little bit of like serious moments there because they're obviously at least under the assumption that Ed's going to die, and
we care about this guy, right? That's amazing from a storytelling perspective. That after we've just been saying this guy's a bit of a brainless dick throughout the whole film, but we are sad that he's gonna die because of his attachment to Shaun, right? Like it's great storytelling.
I think it is. And like, so you watch these moments and you see how it's affecting Shaun in it. Like in that moment, he's realizing that he's going to lose someone that's really close and dear to him, and he's got to deal with that. But then as you mentioned, like with the you mentioned like the dropping of the M-bomb earlier in this as well. And there was another one that sort of, I guess, was like a sign of the times as well in that scene, like in the cellar scene there. So, which I get it for how old this movie is, like, and also the character that Ed was. Because we know that, like, he is completely, like...
Did he say it down there too, did he?
No, he said something else, though, which I'll get to. But he's just so oblivious to people's emotions.
Yeah.
And I think it ruined it, which was, like, Liz said that she loved Ed. And then Shaun turns around and goes, like, oh, I love you. And Ed goes, gay.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I don't know if that would have been funny back then. And I can understand, like, where, like, that's his character. But for me, and I don't know if it's, like, because, like, I've just, like, grown up and it actually ruined the moment, like, that whole scene for me.
Oh,
like,
really?
I just was like...
But again, for me, it shows that he's infantile, but it also breaks, again, from a storytelling perspective, it breaks the tension. That's like, because as I've said in the episodes that we haven't aired, is that comedy, there's a really fine line between comedy and horror. So they use comedy to break that tension. And that's why we took some great comedic actors and performers are great horror directors and writers, right? Because there's such a fine line. I think, is it Jordan Peele that says, the difference between comedy and horror is the music. Like that's it. But again, not to defend him saying gay, but again, if you watch episodes of Community, happens in there all the time, right? Like it was the times where I don't think it's, and none of that's directed to be offensive. It's just.
Well, it just made it less funny for me because in that moment, I think that they already had the best comedic moment in there was when Ed did the fart. He did that down there.
Yeah.
And that, I think, based on like storytelling, if they could have ended with that at the end, And then, because then it's still heartfelt, right? So imagine watching it for the first time. Nothing has really broken the tension, and you've seen that, right?
I think
So
you
you
I think you're
leave that,
right. Yeah,
yeah, just because
it
you
was
leave that
probably overkill.
scene.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you leave that scene sad, right? If that
yeah.
wasn't in there, like you'd be like, oh, and that sort of cheapened it a little bit, just
We've got 1
because
minute.
then if you would have gone from that scene without that into then seeing the garage, like the shed scene,
Yeah.
but and it would have meant more because you've gone from down here to up here. But as far as this minute goes, thank you very much for joining us for
No.
this episode.
We haven't finished the
Oh,
episode.
we've still
Just
got
finished talking about the movie.
Here we go,
talk.
guys. We can leave this in there. There you go. That's me being proactive here. But yeah, with 1 minute left to go about this, I just wanted to say that it shows that rewatching movies is a good thing because I had logged it on Letterboxd, not to what, but just that I had watched it with no date when I first got Letterboxd going, and I rated it 3.5 stars.
Oh, really?
I gave it 5 stars now.
Yeah, it's definitely 5 stars. 10 seconds ago. Absolutely 5-star movie. Need to watch it. And I can't remember. Damn it. Yeah, no cornetos. Okay. We finished talking about Shaun of the Dead. See, and honestly, we could probably talk about that for a lot longer, because maybe not much longer, but there's a lot to talk about. And just look, that's what I want to say. Lots of Easter eggs on rewatches. So yeah, that's what makes it rewatchable. Lots of Easter eggs. But yeah, thank you. Well, yeah, this episode is done. So what do we got coming for the next few episodes? Let's tell the folks. We do have a schedule now.
We do.
I
worked hard on that.
Yes, you did work hard on this, and it is a lots to come. So next episode, we're going to be talking about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre from '74 and the remake from 2003.
You know what I'm upset about?
No, I do not.
I'm not going to have my 4K of the 2003 one in time for this of recording because it comes out end of August.
Is that the Matthew McConaughey one?
No, that's Texas Chainsaw Massacre Next Generation or New.
Right.
Yeah, Next Generation. We should watch all of them, but no, this is the one that's got
Get in
Jessica
line.
Biel in it.
Oh, okay. I've not seen that one. I really enjoyed the first one.
Have you seen?
I've only seen the first. I've only seen the original once.
Yeah. Have you seen the Friday the 13th remake?
Nope.
Oh, it's done by the same guy.
Okay.
Like,
I have heard the remake is pretty good though, right? Like
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Okay.
I loved it.
The remake?
Yeah.
Okay.
Look, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is one of my all-time favorite horror movies, the original.
Yeah.
Like, it's right up there. Like, that probably comes, like, straight after Halloween for me, would be Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Okay.
I love it. That's my letterbox header, is, like, artwork of the man in the, like, on the side. Yeah, I love it. I think that it's definitely a favorite of mine. The remake is good. It could be a whole lot worse. Obviously, we've seen Texas Chainsaw Massacres since that have been quite atrocious.
Not me.
Which you haven't seen, so that's probably lucky.
I've seen the original and part 2, and I love part 2 as well. I think it's fantastic. But just I guess to highlight the future of this show, to keep, if you hopefully it keeps you listening for future episodes. But we are going to do more of these double features, originals and remakes. We're going to do some director showcases, and not showcases, but just two horror directors' movies, movies from certain decades, and we're going to go back as far as the 30s and look at some movies from the 30s and 40s. These are going to obviously be individual episodes. We also have some guests that are going to join us. People are already throwing their hat in the ring, which is fucking fantastic. Thank you guys for reaching out and wanting to be on the show, and we will happily have you. Yeah, guests are going to be every 5 or 10 episodes, though. They're not going to be all the time, but it's going to be a treat when we do have you on. And also with our guests, we're going to have you pick the movies. We may pick the theme, but you guys can pick the movies, I would say. I think that might be a fair trade-off. So yeah, lots of cool shit coming, and I'm excited. I'm pretty pumped because I've been watching quite a bit of horror again lately. You've
been buying a whole lot of horror too. I've been seeing, and I'm so proud. I feel like a proud parent seeing these purchases.
I would have brought them anyway. So what's Daybreakers today? Actually, tonight before we recorded this show, another vampire movie. This isn't a vampire episode though. No, we're going to keep delving into these type of genres too, because there's lots of vampire movies we need to talk about. Still lots more zombie movies we need to talk about. Lots more slashers. We do need to do slasher episodes and that as well, I think. So getting into those genres, subgenres of.
Yeah, so we're definitely going to have to do like giallos.
Yes.
Obviously, we're going to have like
do some Fulci, do some Argento, Bava. all those guys.
So we were talking about as well. We've also got like Lamberto as well, can do some as well.
Want to do some Asian horror, J horror, Thai horror, that type of stuff.
So we can do that. But truthfully, guys, like from what we planned out, this is us looking proactively ahead and also showing our love for this. But basically, not even kidding, we literally have 20 episodes planned out.
Pretty much our first year almost.
Yeah, and that's where it comes into it. And this is where, depending on how we end up recording, can potentially decide on how this gets released down the track. We want to find our feet first and foremost before anything. If there's any sort of format change, we would leak well ahead of time, and it wouldn't be just done one day without.
Yeah, and we want you're happy to take feedback on that as well. I mean, we're going to probably at least kick along for these first 10 and this current thing. But, but if it's not working, then things will change.
Yeah,
but I think we've started off on the right foot, to be honest, with this plan.
Yeah, I think so too. It gives me a lot of hope because it just shows that, realistically, planning out these 20 episodes, I'm like, oh shit, I've missed stuff. And that's 20 episodes, I'm already thinking that we're missing stuff, so that means that there's going to be plenty of other stuff to do.
We're not going to run out of ideas.
We will never run out.
We're going to make 700 horror movies a year anyway, so we're going to be all right.
So we're never going to have to do that. And for instance, Adam was saying, with the decades and such, even if we get up into the present decade, there's nothing saying that we can't go back and do decades again. And they don't have to be in order.
We absolutely will. Yeah.
We don't even have to do them in order. I just happen to think, the first run through, let's do it. Let's do 30s and 40s and 50s, 60s, 70s. I'll let everyone know in on a little secret here. The 70s, that'll be episode 21. You get a spoiler for
that's a spoiler for me
episodes.
as well. Like that either.
Yeah, so that's that. I put that in there just because I wanted to make sure that we hit 20. But yeah, so from 19 episodes from now or something like that, we'll be at the 70s.
Yeah.
The next episode, what you guys already know about, is obviously Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1974 and 2003. And then, because I want to feel like Santa Claus a little bit, because Adam got to give the good news, I'll let it after that we get our first director special with I call the modern horror maestro, Jordan Peele.
That's going to be a very interesting discussion. I'll leave it at that. It would have been maybe cool to. Well, actually, doesn't matter. He has a new film coming out. It might be next year, but I think it's next year. But we might do a comeback next year after we've seen that one and do another Jordan Peele special. Jordan Peele special. Jordan Spiel.
Yeah, or there could be a Jordan Peele spiel.
Jordan Peele spiel, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there you go. And then after that, we'll have a decade special. But then we've basically just told you sort of our non-structured structure is we want to, there's nothing really set in stone as to how we do it. The movies are just so that we can sort of keep track on how we're watching them and just to, if we need to watch ahead, we can. But it's more, the episodic arrangement is more random, deliberately random, just so that I don't want to do it that every 2 episodes we have a certain type of episode come out, or every 3 episodes it's one of these. Outside of the guests are probably good to be every 5 or 10 episodes and keep them as sort of like milestone stuff. And then also let us know if you would want there to be any like Halloween special episodes like that we release over Halloween.
Bumper well, let us know, but we are going to do something for Halloween. I mean,
we will, but let us know if maybe, for instance, over the month of Halloween, do you want weekly episodes, or would you rather just larger episodes? Is there certain topics that you'd maybe want done for
let
that?
us know. Let us know. We want you to introduce us to stuff as well, if there's stuff we haven't got on the radar. But it's also mixing it up to keep us engaged, so this doesn't feel like homework, because that's a big thing for me. When I have to watch a movie, I struggle when I have to watch a movie. So mixing it up makes it a lot less like homework, to be honest. So and less homework for you, and makes it easier listening for you guys, that it's going to be something different all the time. We're not just talking about the same old. Although there's going to be obviously formatting with the show, but we should wrap it up. Did you have anything else to say?
Well, probably the most exciting thing that I want to say to everyone, which is new considering since the last episode, which is that we have an Instagram page.
We do.
So that is
Nearly forgot.
SF Triple H podcast.
Not
you can
the
find
wrestler?
us on not the wrestler. So yeah, SFHHH podcast. Spin. We're on Instagram. So if you'd like to chuck us a follow, we'll announce when episodes are live.
Yes.
If there's any call outs or special news, we'll be putting it up there as well.
Like, subscribe, share to your friends. That would be lovely to get the ball rolling for us. And thank you for everyone who has been supporting us so far. It's delightful, and yeah, we really appreciate it and love you guys for doing that. On that note, where else can we catch you on the socials, Mike?
So just the usual. So like I am Beyond Horror on Instagram. I am Beyond Horror 666 on TikTok and Letterboxd, and Beyond Horror AU on YouTube. What about you, Herb Rider?
I am Curb Rider on Letterboxd, Curbside_collections on Instagram, and is that about it for socials? That's about it for socials. You can catch I do other podcasts, which is the Curbside Collections podcast and the Cinematic Wasteland podcast, which you can grab all of those on this same network, the SPDM Crew Podcasting Network, found wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Thanks for supporting us. And like I said, like us, subscribe to us. I don't know. I don't think you can do. Well, you can subscribe in your podcast player, but check us out on Instagram. Share that around for us so we can get some people tuning in, and the more people we can get listening, the more motivation it's going to give us as well. So yeah, again, thank you all for your time. Until next time, we'll be talking about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre next fortnight on the 10th of September. That will be. Love you all. Thank you, dearly beloved. See you next time.
Get out.